resources, how we could use the resources and tools to facilitate conversations, help people envision what their good life is, and planning for the aging life stage. I'm sharing resources and tools that I hope you will use and share with people, families, providers, so they can be part of the conversation and not just be answering questions. There are 3 handouts: the PowerPoint, the Experiences and Questions booklet, and the quick guide on aging. Last time, just a quick recap, just a gentle reminder that even from conception, we start aging. What a great thing to think about, huh? We're all getting older from the time we're conceived. And then aging, people disagree about when does that aging life stage start. And there's anything from 50 to 65. But another aspect of aging that we need to look at is that there are about 1 million people age 60 or older who are providing day-to-day caregiving for a person with IDD. So that doesn't mean an older parent whose son or daughter is living somewhere else. They're living with them and they are providing that day-to-day care. We know that AAIDD, American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, and ARC has written a joint position paper and saying that people with IDD have every right and opportunity to be recognized in their community and to have access to community services for all people who are aging. So what does that mean for us? It really means we need to know what kind of life they want. And we need to look at what are the resources that are available, not only to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but also to people who are aging. And we want people to be free from fear of inappropriate hospitalization. So, the automatic answer is not you go to a nursing home. We need to look at the resources and be aware of and use the resources that are available for people who are aging. So you know that we have AAAs in Ohio, Area Agencies on Aging. There are 12 of them. You can look up Area Agency on Aging. I am hoping that you are using resources from them, that you are connecting older caregivers to the AAA, but also looking at what might we use to support people who are aging. Please also look at the ARCH website, the Access to Respite Care and Help. They are a national respite network. They have amazing resources to help families look at respite, take a break from caregiving. And of course, we have the Ohio Department of Aging and the National Institute for Health. In aging, across the lifespan, from birth through the end of life, we continue to focus on the 6 life domains and asking people, using them to facilitate conversations. What do you want to do in your life? What's working, but what might you want to do differently? So please also remember that if you are working with aging caregivers, I, as a family member, will never forget that a service coordinator, an SSA, sat with us and said, you're getting older. What are you going to do when you're no longer here? And my family members started hyperventilating. And I said, we're stopping that conversation. That is a conversation for the family. And I just want you to think about, yes, you may think those older parents need to start planning, but how do you broach the topic with dignity and respect and support for the support that they have provided for decades? So we look at the domains. I'll go back for just a minute. And ask people, what is your vision? What do you want to do during the day? We also should never make assumptions, having supported people into their 90s. I will tell you that some people wanted to go to day services every single day. And some people were like, yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to get up early. Maybe a half a day, a couple times a week. So remember, we're trying to provide individualized supports and not just automatic services. Sent you the booklet to help you look at, as the adults that you are supporting are getting older, starting to do some anticipatory guidance, looking ahead at what do you want to do as you get older? What is a good life? And so your ability to look at, okay, I just want to double check that it's Erica putting in chat and not someone that has questions. I also gave you the quick guide, or the 4-pager on aging. I hope as you are supporting people who are aging, whether you work in the DD system, or hopefully there are some people from the aging system on this call, or other service systems, maybe mental health, that you share the quick guide, which is available free to download. It's also a handout. So save it on your hard drive or a common drive that you have at work so other people can also access it. And give it to families. Give it to families of adults that are getting older, but also give it to families where the caregivers are older. We talk about, when we ask people, what kind of life do you want? What's your good life? And if we are being person-centered which if you are working in the IDD field or any field that gets funding through Medicaid, you know that we are supposed to help people have the life they value, the life they want. That means that we need to know, what is that life that they want? You can use the vision tool on the left, where the 6 domains are listed, as well as helping people think about what supports the family might need, that 7th icon, and the 8th icon, looking at integrated supports. It gives you a little definition, and you can give it to people to think about, what do I want to do during the day? What are my options? What are my opportunities? Where do I want to live? So we talked about 3 of the life domains last time. Today, I want to look at social and spirituality and 2 others. So in adulthood, are people learning and have the opportunity to maintain relationships and meet new people? So are we providing them experiences and opportunities to meet and be with other people who have similar interests, not similar diagnosis, similar interests? Do we know what their interests are? Are we supporting people to know that it's okay to talk to other people when they have to make a decision? Just like you and I do. We don't talk to our provider. We don't talk to a guardian. We talk to our friends. What would you do? What have you done if you had the similar experience? Are we helping people know that they can reach out to people they know to talk over decisions? Usually when I ask adults, they tell me they talk to their SSA or they talk to their guardian, and they don't really talk about, I talk to other people. I may talk to a friend who also is married and maybe I want some advice, or I talk to somebody who has a job and I ask them how it's going. And so helping people realize they can talk to other people. Are we helping them learn about how to have a valued role and what that means? That they are contributing in their community. For aging, we know that a lot of people, as they age, their friends pass on. So how are we helping them maintain those friendships, maintain those connections, maybe pursue a hobby or interest? Do they need help participating in their spiritual community? Are we helping them maybe participate in their community center? Because maybe there are options there that are interesting to them. And then are we asking them if they've been talking to people about what they want to be able to do, what their end of life wishes are, and not broaching it like we know what's best. You're getting older, so what are you thinking of? What are you doing? But have you talked to other people? Do they know what you want? It's such an emotional conversation, and it should never be part of our checklist or plan, but it should be a respectful conversation to help people perhaps think about, but not even have to tell us if we're not helping them. And then are we using tech? Are they learning to use tech? Are they listening to books if they can no longer read because of vision or because of their physical or medical state? For healthy living, are we helping people understand their health insurance? Are we supporting them to make healthcare appointments and even participate in the healthcare appointments? So if you are a provider, a day or residential, are you helping people prepare for their appointments? I know when I was even working as a service coordinator, helping them prepare the questions to ask the physician. You've told me you're a little concerned about this. Let's write some questions down. You can take them with you when you go see the doctor. Are we helping people understand the impact of their disability in healthcare? Because we have learned that some people with some diagnoses should be getting proactive screenings at a younger age than the typical population. Are we helping people use apps to stay fit, or YouTube, or smartwatches, any kind of apps? For aging, are we asking them, who do you want to go with you? I know I went to all my brothers' medical appointments, both brothers, and they wanted me there. Why? So I could take notes, and so that if they had questions and forgot to ask them, I had talked to them ahead of time and got them ready and had the questions. Are we asking people, have you identified somebody that can make decisions if you can't? Do the people who support you know what you want? Are we helping them engage in physical activity and finding alternatives if they can no longer do some of the activities? For example, my health insurance pays for silver sneakers, and there's all sorts of videos online where if you are a day provider and providing some kind of activity for healthy living, are you looking at adapted exercises? For safety and security, are we helping people use technology? I just talked to somebody who has one of those medic alert buttons. Not that they like it, but but they do have it. And it is, again, another way to just have safety in the home. When my mother was getting older, the fire department would come to her home and check the smoke detectors and change the batteries because they didn't want an 80 and 90-year-old lady standing on a step stool or a ladder to change the batteries. So what's available in the community for safety and security? I think I shared last week that I have heard more and more communities on the news programs talking about how they will shovel the sidewalks for older citizens, that they get people to volunteer to do the yard work and just maintain the yard work. Do people know how to call for assistance? Or do they have a system that they can access emergency services very easily. You know, my mother had an emergency button and an emergency, oh gosh, what do you call it? Like a module. And so she could either press the one button or the other button, and somebody answered immediately, almost like remote supports. Do people know what to do for emergencies? And have we mitigated risks in their home environments? Are we looking at how to keep their money safe and keep them from being taken advantage of? I cannot even tell you how many of my friends have shared that their parents got suckered into the phone call of, this is your grandchild, I need money, go buy gift cards. How are we supporting people to know and not be caught up in those scams? How are we addressing other concerns like dementia that may impact safety? You know, the risk of falling. What's the first question a doctor asks anybody once they're 60? Have you fallen in the past 6 months, 12 months? Did you hurt yourself? Did you have to go to the ER? Because once someone falls, it's not just the fall, but it seems to be, with older people that I knew that fell, it just seemed to be the beginning of the decline. Do they know who they can talk to? If someone does say, this is your grandchild, go to the store and buy some gift cards and call me with the numbers. Are we looking at home mods? I know that some neighborhood corporations and some cities will actually provide some of the home mods and tech for people who are older. Are we using those community services available to anyone in that community? Or are we, you know, using our Medicaid or local dollars? Are we asking people what they want to do? I say this because as a speech pathologist working for the county board, I often was asked to meet with someone who we found out was at the end of their life, perhaps had a diagnosis that they were not going to be living for very long, and just finding out what they wanted. Did they understand what they were going through? And were they able to make decisions? What were their decisions? What did they want? What were their advance directives? And I will tell you that if you are helping people make specific decisions, there's no IQ guidance or diagnosis guidance. If you want to know if someone can make informed decisions, you need to make sure the only way you can determine that is by talking about the specific decision at the specific time. Not talking about it 3 years ahead of time, but this is what's happening. What do you want to do? And then are we helping people think about those final expenses? Or I supported people who were at the end of their life and just asking them, who do you want to have these things? As I supported my brother, I knew ahead of time that Nick was at the end of his life and had these conversations. What do you want, Nick? Do you want more medical treatment? What if they suggest surgery? And what do you want done with your belongings? And that's part of planning, and having those conversations when you know they can have them, and in a way that is respectful and empowering. So I recently was talking to some families and I said, you know, the way to approach this is you can have some control over how things are done. Do you want to talk about them? And let's make sure we share what you want with the people who are supporting you. Advocacy and engagement. You know, do they feel comfortable sharing what they want, what they don't want? Do they feel comfortable, or do they ask for support? Maybe to be assertive and make sure the team knows what they want. And if somebody says you should or you need to, they feel comfortable, or they have people with them who will say, but that's not what they want. So are we empowering them to include people and share their vision, and also make sure that their vision doesn't get overpowered by someone else's vision of what they should do or not do? A friend of mine's father just passed away 5 weeks ago, and I'm amazed at how many people. She was the caregiver for the last year of his life when he needed that support. I'm amazed at how many people are blatantly telling her what she should do. Just amazed. You need to, you should. And I finally, she said to me, do I need to meet a time frame? I mean, am I taking too long? It's been 5 weeks. I said, there is no time frame except meeting legal decision requirements. And she said, financial. I said, and financial. Don't let anybody tell you what you need to do. Figure out a way to say something back to them, or maybe say, you know, I know what he wants. I'm doing what he wants. So you can deflect all that unsolicited advice. Do people still want to vote? And are we helping them present themselves as the expert of themselves? So I always made sure my brother could speak up. And if he felt overpowered, I would speak up and say, Nick said he wanted this. Do they have opportunities to make decisions about their own life? And do they know how to ask for help? I will tell you, I worked with somebody at the end of his life. He was a talker, and at 65, he had throat cancer and his larynx was removed. He had access to technology and would not use it. And our belief was, I will go in and see what decisions he has to make, and see if he can express those decisions. He could no longer talk. Nobody wanted to tell him he was dying. And so nobody told him. They were afraid he would get upset. Well, of course he would get upset. What would any of us do? And I said, you know, you're very sick. And he did this. And I thought, he knows he's dying. He knows he's going to be buried. And we offered him options using pictures and symbols. And he didn't want to talk with people. So the one thing I gave him was a photograph of me with my phone number on the back. And I said, if you want to talk about anything, you give this card to your staff. And the card had my picture on the front, and on the back, it said, if he gives you this card, call this number immediately. Any time of the day, any day. So are we giving people ways to make decisions, talk about them with other people, and have support to be their own expert? We also want people to make their own decisions and make sure their wishes are known. Be part of making those final arrangements, including who do they want to take care of them. My brother was given the option of his current residential staff, and did he want hospice staff to come in and help? And he said, absolutely not. My staff knows me. They know my body. I don't want anyone else touching me. So giving people that choice, not just assuming we know what's best. So support people about the life they want. Use those domains to have the conversation, and know that we've got to help people build experiences and opportunities across the lifespan. I challenge you to give those quick guides to people, make them available for everyone, put them on your website or whatever you have. Have discussions about them. If you're a day provider, talk about those domains and bill for self-determination. We have our showcase coming up. As you leave the session, a feedback survey will pop up. Please answer the questions. They help us again with our grant funding, and so we appreciate you answering the survey. And if you are interested in any other presentations or a specific presentation, please let us know at frnohio.org. There's a contact link. And I thank you for attending today. Have a great day and a great week. In Northeast Ohio, it's sunny, so I don't know how warm it is, but the sun is shining, so it's a beautiful day. Have a great day and week, everybody. Have a great Valentine's Day. Take care.